Your breath is a creator. When we breathe in and breathe out, we are making creations and creating in every moment of life. If there's any part of your life right now that is out of alignment in any way, and you're really like wishing and wanting for this to come into alignment, this number one thing that the universe is trying to get your attention and to share with you that in your ability to open your awareness, breathe into accepting whatever is happening. It is the first step. It is the first step of any kind of massive alchemical shift in your transformation. There must be some acceptance of where you're at right now. And my friends, I feel like this is going to be so potent for you. Like it's going to be very powerful for you to just receive that message, receive it into your body, mind, and spirit. And even if it's just for a couple of moments, just to feel what that is like, to fully accept, it is going to be like a pivotal thing, a pivotal shift in whatever it is that has been stuck. And so I'm feeling that really powerfully. I know if you're watching this, like, even though I may not have a connection with you on a physical level, yet I can sense you and I can feel some of these energies that are watching this right now. And it is because of you that this particular type of information is coming through. It's like your presence right now is also informing this content that wants to come through. I feel it. It's just like pushing right out of me. And so number one is like accept it. Just accept it. Like accept it right now. Accept whatever the emotion that you have linked to the things, if it's something in your heart, like a relationship that is just like feeling like it's hard to accept it anyways, because I promise you, promise you, in your acceptance of it, you're going to be guided to the next sort of like level with it. You're going to be guided to the next step of like how this could actually benefit your life. Because even though this next thing is not a thing that I felt came through today, specifically for you from the universe, and something that I always live by and know that whatever is happening in your favor. And if you could take that into this message of accepting, I know that you're going to find something that's like gold. You're going to find something that's like something you didn't expect, perhaps, in it. And no matter how challenging it might be, it's in there. There's always something there that is happening in your favor to help move you into the next place of wherever it is that you're going in your life. Thing number two, the second thing is that's coming through is to have a perspective of lightness. I love this so much because I know in my own being, in my own DNA, even if in the way my family's DNA, the inheritance that I've gotten, there's a lot of humor in my own family and there's a lot of lightness. Now, I, being a very deeply spiritual person, right? I don't always connect that to my spirituality. And I want to remind you, if you have something similar like that, to remember that this is something that the universe has given you as a gift. There's a gift of lightness. What happens that's so powerful, if your awareness could remember and really understand that the universe is like saying to you, being light in your perspective, shifting the way you're seeing your situation, and seeing it through the lens of how can I see this in a lighter way? There's always a lighter version, even if it's just to like relieve yourself of the stress or pressure that you may or may not be putting on and placing into a situation. Because when you place that kind of stress into a situation, as we know, that creates resistance. And in your resistance, things get really hard. And then, it's just like a rippling, spiraling effect of things that are not that fun, you know? And so bringing the lightness back into it. Think about anything that's really light. Think about like the great comedians that we know in this world. And there's something to that about, you know, a lot of the great comedians that knew about humor, it wasn't, their humor didn't actually come from many times a place that was just so like happy. It actually came from the depths of despair, you know, like one of the great comedians that lived, Robin Williams, you know, his brilliance, his mastery of this craft, you know, made him a legend. And, you know, even though he's not alive with us today on this planet, or maybe he is in another dimension here, but you know, his impact came from also his own deep suffering and sadness. Now, I'm not saying that you're having deep suffering and sadness. What I am saying is that lightness comes from suffering sometimes, and it comes from a place that is darker. And there's a real wisdom to lightness and to humor. They are two different things, so I just want to distinguish like a little bit. Something humorous is just like something that your experience maybe that's just you know, fun and light in your being. But this lightness of being is something that you embody, and embodying the lightness of being, what that does is very potent. I'm telling you today, things feel very potent, including the energies that are that we are kind of in the middle of experiencing. And whenever you're watching this, it is that. But particularly while I'm recording this, the energies are very sensitive and sort of like intense and very potent. And their potency is helping to like help root out some of the things that have been in your way, some of the things that have been stuck, and you kind of know that you've been unstuck. But like this is about clearing that out, like kind of like sweeping it, kind of like doing the sweeping and clearing out. And so the being in the lightheartedness in your heart, taking on the perspective of the lightness is really going to, I really feel it's going to be very beneficial in your situation right now, because what that does on an energetic level, your energy that is being affected by everything. As an empath, you know that you're already very sensitive to the energies around you. You're able to pick up energies in the field and from other people. And everybody's doing this, but empaths in particular, we're sensitive to what's happening around us, and it affects our energy, I feel like, in sometimes more intense ways than others. And so in this way, what the lightheartedness is doing for you, and if you can really just I really want to ask you like to just try it out, like open yourself up to the lightness of being, because what on an energetic level that does is it kind of like chops things away, you know, it cuts through whatever is like thick in the air around you or in your mind space, you know, it will cut through all of that. And it is a really beneficial thing to embody, because you have a choice. And that is what the universe is like getting at with this, is that there is a choice that we have at all times in how we're perceiving a situation. Okay. And so even though like we all have these abilities, like I really believe we do, like you have the same abilities in terms of intuiting and attuning with the universe and what the universe is sharing with you. The only thing I would say though is if you are if something you're intuiting, if you feel like it just doesn't feel right, the reason I find in my experience, anytime something I'm intuiting isn't right or doesn't feel right, it's because at some point I had a thought in my head that somehow clouded the situation. And so I'll give an example, because that is why this is really beneficial to maybe get this message to just sort of be into lightheartedness, your intuition is going to get a lot clearer, because if there is anything going on that's clouding a situation, that is going to affect your ability to sort of be lighthearted about things. I'm going to give that example that I was going to give is that recently there was something where there was a situation I wasn't sure about. There was a person in the situation I wasn't sure about whether I am like able to trust the situation or not. And I had that thought implanted in my brain of this kind of like, I doubted it. I doubted whether I could trust the situation. And the situation's just sort of like all of a sudden I felt like was not something that I could remember manifesting. I was like, what is going on here? I don't understand what's happening right now. I don't remember manifesting this particular situation, which started to feel a little bit chaotic to me. But then when I really sat with it, it was like, oh yeah, remember that time, remember that moment where you put that thought into your brain, into your mind of like doubting the situation, doubting the people involved in the situation. And this is what was playing out in my particular situation. And so it's sometimes hard to digest the fact that our thoughts are so potent and powerful. What's really great is that you're able to shift that. You're able to shift your perspective. And so that's part of this message right now of shifting your perspective and being into this like lightheartedness. It's very purging and clearing for your energy. And right now, we all need a little bit of like extra clearing and cleansing of your energy field so you can be prepared and clear for what is coming and what you've already stepped into. Like my sense is that you've already stepped into something new. The new path has opened up in your life, and yet you still feel like there's some like remaining things. And sometimes you're like, what am I going to do with these things? And what I'm saying is like, keep cleaning it out. Like, you know, just like you do the laundry in your life, like there's going to be a continual cleansing, and new ways of how that can like really move out of your field and out of your life. So breathe into that, my friends, breathe into that. The third thing that was coming through that the universe wanted you to know is about the intuition. And I spoke and touched on a little bit of that when I was talking about your own intuition and your own intuitive abilities. And when things feel right and aligned, you know, intuition just flows through you and you don't question it, you don't doubt it, and it doesn't make you feel bad. You know, feeling bad about like something that you're getting as guidance, generally, I feel like in my experience means that it might not actually be guidance. It might not actually be true intuition. It might be more of something that's like been mixed up with something in your mind. And so it might seem like intuition, and it's really up to you to like start to discern. And if there is a point of like you're not able to discern, I would do the things that we've been talking about here about acceptance, and then also about shifting your perspective into the lightness. And that's going to help you move into more intuition, more clarity, you know, and absolutely using one of your practices, a breath practice, a meditation practice. I have a meditation, a free meditation that I created that you can grab on my channel if you want. It's about attracting blessings, and I really like it. And it's a free one. You can grab that if you are interested. But in any case, anything that you resonate with in terms of like meditation, breath work, movements in your body is going to help to also increase your level of intuition. So just like the lightheartedness, when we move our body, like when we literally move our body, we're also creating in that way. So breathing is creating, moving the body is creating. And those things, when we do them in a very like conscious way, and when you're being really present, which is what is being asked for right now in this message of your intuition, you're also being asked to be present. And that is also allowing for greater intuition to come through. And all of this is so that right now you can be more impactful in your own life and what you're doing. And so that you don't get stuck on one area of life that has been tripping you up in some way, you know? And again, whether that's a relationship that's been tripping you up, your finances that have been tripping you up, these things are not meant to like stay, you know, stagnant in your life forever. They're just not. And I believe that if you're watching this right now, it's an even more greater message to share with you and let you know that it is ready to move, it is ready to flow, and all that is required is your alignment with that blessing that is here present with you right now in this moment. Just open up to it. Just open up to it.